That's the only conclusion you can draw. So, let us face this. The governors, I'll come to that in a short while and I'll begin analyzing those witnesses one by one. But let me address you on the lack of logic in the totality of the governor's case theory. There were 47 MCAs entitled to vote in Kericho County Assembly on the 15th of August, 2025. If you believe, as the governor believed, and as his council believed, that someone voted for you with your credentials, the logical thing is to attempt to log in with those credentials and say, I was unable to log in because somebody had already used them as passwords to log in. That's the logical thing. The other logical thing, if you believe that the system was capable of double voting, is to log in and vote yourself. Because once you log in and vote yourself, and somebody else has double voted, the system will return more votes than the registered voters. That's the logical thing. So I do not know, Mr. Speaker, sir, distinguished senators, whether we have a case of imprudence or dishonesty on the part of these witnesses. But I want you, when you consider this matter in your own debate, to tell me how somebody will fail to take advantage of these two possible and irrefutable evidence creating acts and come and present another one to tell you, I did not vote. And let's face it. These are the very MCAs you saw by your own clip. The governor's council at the assembly telling them, stand up and demonstrate you will vote support the governor. One of them says they had met the governor earlier and they had agreed on that position. First, that is legislative impropriety. Will you believe a representative of the people who confesses to have engaged in that conduct? I am inviting you to find the overall conduct of these people to be not worth of your credit. But let me point out something else. Mr. Peter Wanyama, advocate for the governor, says, in fact, he logged into this system twice and voted. The county assembly's expert has not seen that login of his. The governor's own expert today has confirmed he didn't see that login by Peter. The independent expert by this house has confirmed he didn't see that login by Peter Wanyama. It means the governor's case theory is found on a shameless lie that an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and our profession, Mr. Speaker, sir, thankfully for me, you belong to this profession, and distinguished senators, some of you belong to this profession, abhors an advocate vouching for his client. An advocate presents evidence as presented by witnesses and the law established. But if the advocate himself can take the extreme stance taken by Mr. Peter Wanyama Learned Counsel to present a factual wrong that he logged in this system and voted, a fact which his own witness says, I didn't see it in the logs, a fact which the independent witness of this house, the expert, says, I didn't see that in the logs. A fact which Mr. Peter Wanyama himself was unwilling or unable to take the witness stand and be cross-examined on. I invite you to draw a conclusion that there is enough evidence that the governor was willing to go to any extent to deceive this house, that this voting process was in fact compromised. Let's face it, distinguished senators. Every system, ICT or otherwise, can be made better. Any system can be made better. Banks work on ICT system, and many other systems now, operations work on ICT systems, whether they medical systems, be they aviation industry systems, and all other systems. Each one of them can be made better. The fact that the system adopted by the County Assembly of Kericho can be made better is not a basis for invalidating that which it has done. The only basis for invalidating that which it has done is credible and irrefutable evidence that the system was in fact compromised, not capable of being compromised. No single witness before you has brought that evidence that this system was in fact compromised. Learned Senior Counsel, Mr. Katwa Kigen, I would reiterate, Mr. Speaker, sir, one of the most courteous counsel that I know, one of the most polite counsel I know, and a mentor to many young lawyers that I teach, came here and this, in his opening remarks, which are captured at page 25 of Wednesday this week morning, observes that this site was pulled down, and in a response to the PO, it was brought up again. The logs by these witnesses would have shown that act of pulling down the site and re-uploading the site. Not the County Assembly's witness, not the governor's witness, not the independent witness of this Senate has captured that log of interference with this site by pulling it down and re-uploading it. I am reiterating a simple and straightforward case that this evidence shows that this governor could go to any extent, including getting senior and reputable counsel to present factual inaccuracies before this Senate just to achieve the termination of these proceedings on a technical objection. As you vote on this issue, I beseech you to debate these questions, and if you reach answers contrary to these submissions, I will live with your verdict peacefully. If you reach a verdict that conforms to this verdict, once again, I will be able to live with it peacefully. Look at how the county governor's council stood before the county assembly and the governor himself and commandeered, assumed the speaker's role, commandeered the MCAs stand up. What had they done to those MCAs to assume that kind of control over them? I am not sure that if I stood before here and commanded these senators to stand up in direction, they will take it seriously, however persuasive my case. What had they done to them? Between this system that provided some form of privacy for the individual MCA and the so-called roll call system, in that context of this governor and this advocate commandeering MCAs on record, which one would have guaranteed better integrity and independence of decision-making by this assembly? It is expected that any MCA who took advantage of that semblance of independence and voted for this motion, having been earlier intimidated and commandeered, may consider stating that they had not voted.